The second day of the ANC'S BRICS Political Parties Plus dialogue is set to continue this morning, where closed commissions discussing trade partnerships and institutional framework, among others, are set to feature. The gathering continues a day after President Cyril Ramaphosa responded to the DA's court action, stating that arresting Vladimir Putin from Russia is tantamount to a declaration of war. Ziyanda Ngcobo is part of our team watching all these developments. Live to us now, once again from Boksburg this morning. And Ziyanda, it shouldn't be lost to us that the gathering there is meant to set some kind of direction for the discussions that are going to take place during the BRICS summit next month. But how much of what is happening where you are is dominated by this Putin conundrum?
Well, I'd say to an extent it is, Ziyanda, insofar as, of course, talking about the shift in geopolitics in the world, creating a new world order, and the warrant of arrest that was issued against Russian President Vladimir Putin, and what that means then for geopolitics and the pressure that South Africa has been placed under. That's what Deputy President Paul Mashatile said yesterday, that South Africa has been put under pressure, and then you marry that with the affidavit that the president submitted yesterday, saying that arresting the Russian president would be tantamount to a declaration of war. And I'd say, Ziyanda, that today most of the day will be spent in closed commissions. Each country will make various presentations. So I'll just give you a snapshot. So, for instance, South Africa will be talking about the BRICS Africa Partnership for Mutually Accelerated Growth and Sustainable Development. Brazil will be looking at inclusive multilateral and joint action on promoting peace and security. Russia will be presenting at a commission defining a path towards equitable and developmental trade partnership for BRICS. That's interesting, Ziyanda, because the criticism that's been leveled by the West, in particular Europe and the US, is that South Africa seems to be married to Russia, and yet when you look at the trade partnership that Russia and South Africa had, it's very minimal. So these are part of the discussions. And then, of course, India will be discussing the strengthening of institutional frameworks of BRICS and expanding BRICS membership. You'll know that there was a meeting in Cape Town in the run-up. There have been several gatherings across the country, in fact, where the foreign ministers of BRICS met, and there have been applications that will be discussed. Iran, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Ethiopia, amongst the countries that have applied for membership within the BRICS, formation. And so it tells you that as well, that there are many countries that are looking towards the East, and South Africa has been accused of doing such. Of course, there's also discussions around the de-dollarization and creating a mutual currency amongst BRICS countries. So, especially with countries like Iran and Saudi Arabia, what would that mean then for the multilateral system such as the UN, given that some of these countries don't form part of the UN, but also even insofar as the global financial system, can BRICS create its own financial system that would go up against the existing dollar? So these are all the discussions that are expected to take place. Then later on, there'll be a report back from the various commissions, and then it will close. But as you've mentioned, this is a build-up towards that summit taking place next month here in South Africa, where the heads of state will also then pick up from these conversations. I mean, some of the parties here are governing parties in their respective countries, so it's no small fate that this dialogue is taking place.
Absolutely, and there's plenty to chew on in a context where multilateralism is under scrutiny there. Ziyanda Ngcobo, thanks for watching those developments for us. She's live to us there from Boksburg.